Yo, it's Friday. We got Nashville Kyle. I got the tape measure out because we're making lots of print materials. But today we're talking about a historic automotive entrepreneur buying a lot of EVs, GM retooling, and Gen Z searching on TikTok.
The people really want to know
First, we're going to bounce. First, we're going to bounce.
I needed it today. Had to turn the hat around. Had to get the sunglasses inside.
I rode the motorcycle to work today.
Of course you did. Of course you did.
I need it, and it's like because it's like 60 degrees, 62 degrees right now in Syracuse. It's been
What
like
is that even
humid.
like?
It's amazing. It's amazing. And then when you get on a motorcycle going perhaps the speed limit, perhaps above it, it gets a little chillier. And there's something about it that just makes your whole body tingle, like when you get off of it. And I just feel like that's what like people that dip themselves in like a cryo bath feels like. Probably not even close, but I'm not. Yeah. I hate the cold. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that crap. Oh man, we have so much to talk about today. It's been an amazing week. There's just so much has gone on in the auto industry this week. Really so many texts, so many LinkedIn DMs. We got to see a bunch of people in person, hands in the dirt in the stores. Gosh, I just remembered your post from last week. Like, this is the most fun industry in the world. You can't believe that you ever wanted to be a soccer player.
I know, right? I'm so much more happy just watching soccer and being in the automotive industry.
It's it shelf life is longer. I mean, all kinds of things.
I don't know about the money yet. Maybe
maybe at some point. Right? Well, it depends on what kind of soccer you're playing.
Yeah, I mean, if you were in Europe or the MLS, you got questions.
I was going to say, I know a lot of soccer players that work a job in the summer. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, look, they struggle. Yeah, there's some. I mean, I think the base salary in the MLS just got moved to 80 grand. So you know, that's MLS American football. No. Oh, we're talking about a number of things today, but first, let's get some housekeeping out of the way. Look, ASOTUCon sessions are up on the website. Go to ASOTUCon.com. You can see all the crazy stuff that's going to happen at the event now, complete with speakers and panels. Dealers are starting to buy the tickets in the increasing mode, which is encouraging because we knew that like a month out was when dealers usually make their decisions, what they're going to do. So it's fun to watch them coming in from all over. Things happening in the world. So, hey, get in while the getting's good.
That's true. That's a good point. Oh, we didn't post the scarf yet. We have the most amazing piece of swag that we're giving away at ASOTUCon. We'll show some more pictures of it soon. But it is just
the ticket price might be worth the scarf.
Oh, it's so cool. And the bragging rights alone of it. Good morning, Eric. Good morning, William. Good morning, Larry. A bunch of people showing up on the live stream this morning. Right after,
you know what? Yeah. Well, first of all, we got all things used cars today. It's going to be stellar. Todd Caputo's coming in with some serious questions. He's going to challenge everybody like he always does. And then if you haven't been catching the live stream during your lunch break or like sitting with your team during the day of some of the collaborators and speakers that we're going to have at ASOTUCon on our new podcast, Auto Collabs, the conversations have just been the most fun, dynamic. They are impactful to business. And so you're going to want to catch those, and you can go back. You can search Auto Collabs on YouTube or any podcast spot
or Spotify
as well. Yeah. So
they have been some of the most fun, rewarding podcast experiences of my life. And I've done hundreds and hundreds of podcasts over the last 5 years. And these have been just amazing to be a part of. And the fun part about the Auto Collabs podcast, you know, you're doing it right when you can tell the other person is really engaged because you're not asking the same old stuff, right? And everybody gets laughing and you start telling stories and sharing some personal details. I don't think we've gotten to the point where it's been TMI yet, but we'll probably get there. So they'll be streaming at noon. And today, you know, speaking of David, I'm not going to hit the buttons. David Long, who hosts the All Things Used Cars Room or created it and hosts it. He's actually the guest on today's podcast. So at noon on our LinkedIn channel or LinkedIn page, follow ASOTU, and you can see it stream there, or on our YouTube page, ASOTU.be, ASOTube. So we're doing that. Yeah, we have some news. Also want to give a shout. Like, who did we talk about? So,
well, this is what I want to talk about today. Okay. We had a lot of conversations this week, actually, we've got a few partners coming that are what we're calling activating in the space. So if you don't understand like the difference between like a show booth and an activation really the goal is to kind of attenuate you to interactivity.
Oh my gosh, attenuate you to interactivity. That's really good. It's really good.
That was some big words.
Big words on a Friday. Go ahead. Attenuate you to interactivity. I like it.
Well, and so we've got, I think, 6 or 7 partners that are coming to this that are doing things like literally bringing a showroom experience to the place. VR,
like the chairs, the desks, the things, like physical and virtual.
Right. An iPad that is 55 inches wide, like literally a ginormous iPad. I mean, these are some really cool interactive experiences that you'll get to have at ASOTUCon. So when you're there, you actually get to kind of like, there's no booths, there's no like, come swing by for the pen, and so the idea is to really get people acclimated and activated. And then a lot of our other activations are alongside of the way brands present themselves and act within auto. So I think people are going to get kind of a new way of approaching that dealer industry partner relationship within the event space.
Yes, I love that so much. So cool. And hey, our friends at Goobagoo and Naked Lime actually are helping us put on this sick show on Monday night. Talk about an activation. We're expecting thousands with an S of everyday folks that work at dealerships all across the greater Philadelphia region. And if you want to fly in just for the event, you can get in if you work at a dealership. We're having evening entertainment, live on open air concert from Nashville's hottest party band. And we're inviting everyone that works at a dealership to be a part of it. So we're going to have the technicians, lot porters, BDC reps, sales associates, receptionists, janitors, IT folks, that uncle that is still employed because of family business, but no one really knows what he does. He can come too. Everybody is going to come to this event. So just look, if you haven't got your tickets yet, if you're a dealer, we want you to come participate in the event and get all your people to come on Monday night for free to get them fired up about the industry that they are in, because they should be fired up about it. I don't have a transition, so I'm just going to hit the button.
Stop. Segue.
That was a rough way to start a Friday, Paul.
No, it's not. No, we already started a Friday. Like 3 hours ago.
There you go.
EV subscription company Autonomy, formerly Nextcar, placed orders for over 23,000 EVs across 17 automakers, primarily partnering with AutoNation for sales and service. So if you're not familiar with it, Autonomy is founded by the serial automotive entrepreneur Scott Painter. If his name sounds familiar, it should. He had a couple small ventures that have kind of affected the space. One little one called TrueCar, one called Fair. Remember Fair? Nextcar. Nextcar, which is now Autonomy. And the goal is really to have a subscription model where people can get familiar and have a lower barrier of commitment to an EV over time, right? So you can pick up 1 month, 3 month, 3 year, like whatever. So, Painter is just always thinking of things and always try. I love somebody that's always willing to try something.
He's always trying something. And this is like the new iteration of Fair, the subscription model to get used to the EV. So I think that it's interesting because I think that there's definitely a space for it and a need for it, but I could see it as being honestly just like a short-lived business model where once there's a general population understanding of the ownership and the drivability and the technology of an EV, that the necessity, what's the long-term necessity to get acclimated to owning or leasing an EV. But I think short term, and then he's always going to pivot, find the next opportunity. But this could be a really interesting way to kind of get people acclimated to that whole environment.
Shoot, I would pivot that sucker, because you think what's the real adoption curve? 5, 6, 7 years, right? Probably. Where people get familiar, infrastructure catch up, range anxiety goes away, and it just becomes a normal thing. And pivot that sucker into a used EV marketplace. You're gonna have tons of inventory. You're gonna have tons of trust. People just do that. It's so easy. Whenever you say just do that.
Yo, Scott Payne, we had a call with a company called Recurrent the other day that's looking at
Carfax for batteries.
Carfax for batteries. Scott Painter should get on the phone with those guys. So
good guys.
If you know Scott and you know the guys at Recurrent, make that happen. There you go.
Just matchmaking on a Friday morning. So the company's going to take delivery of all 23,000 vehicles they ordered within 18 months. And until now, the company's only had Tesla Model 3s. However, now they've expanded that to Tesla Model Ys. Several GM models are going to be Equinox, GMC Hummer, EV, Cadillac Lyriq. Also about 1,000 vehicles each from VW, Ford, Hyundai, Kia, and Rivian. and fewer than 500 each from Polestar, Volvo, and Canoe. So he's really broadening out
in there. Look at Canoe.
Why not take a swing
in there?
Hey, I think that subscription rate will probably be higher because people will be like, I'll low risk try this thing.
Right.
So like we said, we don't know if the business model will work or not, but who are we? But we definitely know it is going to help promote EV adoption overall and kind of move the ball forward in education. And, as usual, we are big fans of education. Speaking of learning things.
Go. Well, I just, if you haven't checked out Steve Greenfield's LinkedIn profile, I don't know where this guy's at, but he's like found the Rivian jackpot. And
so I saw all those cars.
Speaking of EVs, basically, this cat has found every Amazon Rivian truck, and they're all parked in a parking lot.
And he's with them right now. Yes.
Yeah. So I would say go check that out, just because if you're like, what is this going to look like? He found them. So
he was also at like a robo tire plant. Like robo tires, his fund is invested in these like robot arms change tires, which would have saved me a lot of backache over the years since I took with my rim doctor. These would have been really nice. Well, speaking of learning things,
there you go.
All right, we'll get there. All right, we had a little fun, not a little fun. Well, we always have a lot of fun with whatever we're doing, but I felt like we talked about GM quite a bit this week. GM's taken quite a bit of heat across the interwebs. We're throwing some constructive criticism across the line at GM too. We said like, hey, your real friends let you know when you got something in your teeth, right? And so we GM got something in your teeth. However, let's talk about some awesome things that they're doing on the infrastructure nuts and bolts of the business, because that's actually what drives profitability and moves it forward. GM is retooling and significantly reducing the number of, quote, chip families. That means the different types of chips that it uses to clear backlogs that are in the pipeline and then prevent them again in the future. As of June, GM was sitting on, I think, 95,000 vehicles that were fully assembled and just waiting for chips. By the end of Q2, they cleared 20,000 of them, and they're keep going on that. So that's one little piece of news. The other one is that they're reducing the amount of chip families they use by 95%, bringing it all the way down to just 3 different types of chips.
Wow.
That's
pretty. This is the car manufacturer's version of Ethereum, right? Like somehow we found 95% efficiency.
Oh, right. It's a week in 95s, right? Right.
Within our business model and reducing the amount of chip families. Now, it kind of confuses me that this creates a better efficiency, because don't you become more beholden to those 5%, those 3 chip families?
Maybe, but I was thinking about that same thing, and I'm guessing that the types of chips in one vehicle, if you have like say 12 different types of chips in one vehicle, you're much more vulnerable to not having a complete vehicle, right? You know what I'm saying? Because like say I have 11 of the 12. Well, guess it's no.
There it goes. Yep.
Rear seat heaters.
Hey, I have a question. We've been talking about chips so much, I'm kind of over it at this point. But why has any dealership done like an advertising campaign where they're just sitting around eating like Lay's and Pringles,
eating chips,
being like, "Yo, we got your chips." Probably Lay's or Pringles. Have they done it? Just thinking like
Brian Ortega probably has. If
opportunity right now, the opportunities are so strong.
Like try to put the chips in the car to make it work.
Right, just like we're putting
back when there were CD drives, right? Like just put some chips in there. Like the car said around a chip.
That up. Speaking of ridiculous videos,
segue.
That's all right. Yeah, you're like, we're going pull up. So TikTok is becoming, or maybe is already, the preferred search engine of Gen Z. Wanda Pogue, Chief Strategy Officer at Vayner Media, had a great article in Adweek citing a new study that shows 40% of Gen Z users prefer TikTok and Instagram over Google when it comes to search. She had some anecdotal evidence as well. Quote in the article, she says, my Gen Z daughter had a group of friends over. I asked them about their behavior on TikTok, and they agreed about their search behavior. And it's the platform they go to now when searching for anything from the highest rated beauty products and clothing trends to the best restaurants in the area or recipes to try.
You know, it's interesting. Like I'm in the millennial generation, right? But even a lot of the people that I interface with, my friends, the conversation sometimes goes to, Oh, you know what? On TikTok, I saw how to, right? And you think about the words how to, and that was a YouTube theme, and still is, right? But it was definitely a YouTube theme, but I'm starting to see that how-to theme move over to TikTok, and people are recognizing that how-to video, that shorter form of like interesting ways or interesting things to approach are definitely becoming more search engine-ish and less just content feed. So
it's very interesting. Now that you mention it, it just brought up so my kids are at camp this week, or 3 of my 4. All we have is our 2-year-old. So my wife Sarah and I have had a little bit more time to she's like, I have to make dinner for 2 people and not 7 people. It's a different thing, right? But she made this Italian dish, and she said, I made this from like a 15-second Instagram reel. So I wonder if she searched it. I have to ask her. I mean, my wife technically
whether it just came up or she searched it. Yeah.
She probably searched it. It was pretty good, and she made it from awesome. The fact that you can get a whole recipe into 15 seconds on an Instagram reel is actually pretty efficient. And then you can also
I've learned a ton of Photoshop skills from Instagram reels. Dude, so
I learned how to start. I learned how to start just about everything I do from the internet. No, actually, it's not true. When I first got into business, there was really not much of an internet. I bought Small Business for Dummies and literally started page 1, right?
That's strong.
I had to buy a QuickBooks Business CD-ROM and put it in my computer. Incredible. And it was like company name
in the early 2000s.
It was like company name. I was like, I got this. And then it was like EIN. I was like, I know what that is. And then it was like chart of accounts. And I was like, customers? That's it. Literally
how do I set up a chart of accounts? Right.
I wish I had it open right now. We could actually try that. That's amazing. But the article goes on to say social channels have become brands, digital storefronts, and the content shared is the cornerstone of building a modern brand. It's an always on game of relevance where brand channels need to be quote unquote alive to engage existing communities. So our takeaway from this one was, what was that you were saying about organic social media content? It doesn't give you any ROI. Well, if you don't care about Gen Z buyers, then I guess it doesn't matter to you. We don't need any Gen Z buyers. We can just live off our Gen X and boomers and stuff, right?
Yeah. Well, I would say if you're not telling and selling and rather you're sharing, then you might actually have some value to provide organic content and the algorithm, and it might help you. So,
oh my gosh, that is going to be the game. Like the dealers that building brands that know organic content are absolutely going to be the ones that are going to win in this education, knowledge seeking world, not 2022 Honda Civic. That kind of search, strategy has its place, but it is a portion of the overall strategy, not the entire strategy. Speaking of the entire strategy, no, I'm not going to hit it again. Everybody heard it in their ear, though, when I said that, didn't they?
It is.
No, our strategy this Friday is to absolutely keep running as hard as we can to help and serve as many dealers as we can. And I know that you're out there doing the same on the front lines, bringing this industry to what it should be. So keep rocking that.